I'm Brian Anderson, alongside Clark Kellogg and Grant Hill. Allie LaForce is our reporter. It'll be the Rockets off the tip. Thompson scanning the floor. Pass to Smith. Thompson outside. Just 5 on the clock. Rebounded by Johnson. You know, Grant, with the Nets, there was so much optimism just a few years back.
And it was just too bad to see things go south. It's a reminder that nothing is as easy as it seems in the NBA. Even with a superstar roster, things don't always work out.
Thompson's shot is off. And here's Thomas. Rebounded by Castle. About a minute played here so far in the first. Back to Thompson. Pulls up, high post. Brooklyn pulls it in. Williams on the wing. Outside Johnson. Pass to Williams. There's a screen by Johnson. From behind the arc. Williams misses. And here's Thompson. He'll bring it up for the Rockets. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
You know, inside is where Thompson excels, and the concentration allowing him to finish there.
Pass to Thomas. Now here's Claxton. No one near him. No good that time.
You can't ask for a cleaner look than that. He just couldn't deliver.
Thompson outside. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
That is Thompson's game, rocking the rim and giving his team some energy.
Pass to Williams. And that's out of bounds. It was last touched by Eason.
Next ball. In for the Nets.
Just over 2.5 minutes played here in the first. Screen by Claxton. Johnson for 3. He drops it from range.
Pick works well there, but the defense left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, that's not the defense you need. You got to be tougher defensively.
This is just fun. These teams are trading threes back and forth.
Nothing like answering back. One team gets 3, you fire 3 of your own. Boom.
And that one's good. Melton.
You know, he may lack size, but Melton's an effective scorer inside. He plays bigger than he is.
Out left to the wing. Castle for 3. Doesn't go, and he's 0 for 1 from the floor. Melton left side. Outside Johnson. From deep. Rebounded by Castle. And now we have an intentional foul. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, bizarre play, B.A. Not sure what got into him. You don't want to stop the clock right there. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Here's Easton. Some solid defense from Claxton.
Well, you know, stopping him is never easy to do, but the defense was strong there.
If you look at rebounding rate, Tari Eason is one of the best in the NBA, Clark.
Yeah, you think about rate, it basically looks at what percentage of rebounds do you get while you're on the floor, and Eason is prolific in terms of boards per minute, uses his 6'8" frame well, and he's gobbling up rebounds at well under 1 every 3 minutes. That's a lot of heavy lifting there, folks.
Thomas. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
Sometimes it's simple. Put the ball in the hands of your scorers and let them do what they do best.
And Thompson gets it to go.
Yeah, this period, they're letting him go to work, and it's paying off.
Here's Thomas. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take 2 from the free throw line. It's going to be on Tari Eason.
Exactly. The defense is determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
And both free throws good for Thomas.
Making it look effortless. Send this guy to the stripe. He's going to cash in more than not.
Here's Paul. Six to shoot. Knocked loose. And stolen by Claxton. Here's Williams. Gets it to go. That makes him 2 for 3 in this game.
Just owning the painted area. If it's working, no need to change.
Here's Paul. Count it.
Exceptional focus from the point guard. Paul is no stranger to having to outwork the defense.
Outside Johnson. Back to Johnson. The kick out to Johnson. Thomas outside. 6 on the shot clock. Johnson with it. He's picked up by Vassell. Here's Thomas. No good, off the front rim.
Well, you've got to be there defensively. I mean, that's an easy mid-range jumper that he'll typically drain.
Here's Vassell. It's good! It's good at the buzzer! Wow!
And just nails the 3. Way to close the quarter.
Man, this has been a fairly close game through the first quarter. We'll see what happens here in the second. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Rockets.
Well, guys, early on, they're driving the lane constantly, using their quickness to gain an advantage. Look at their points off penetration.
And, you know, in no time at all, they've also started finding points inside, already taking apart that interior defense.
Houston in the lead. All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian. Devin Vassell is progressing offensively. He said, I feel like the game has slowed down, just making the right reads. I know I can get to my spots. I just want to show that I'm an efficient scorer and a willing passer. I'm trying to be the best player that I can be.
Yeah, love that work ethic, Allie. Thanks. Three-pointer, O'Neal.
And you never want to give a shooter like him a clean look.
The Rockets went from 22 to 41 wins last year, finishing right at 500, Clark.
Great progress by Houston. Just missed the play-in in the West. They would have easily made that same play-in tournament in the East. A huge step forward for the Rockets, no doubt. And I think it's a team that could sustain that trajectory.
This defense is getting spaced out. 3 of the last 5 buckets have come from way beyond the arc.
And so it looks like the Nets will retain possession here.
Next ball. Now in the lineup for the Nets. Wearing number 21, Noah.
Back to Portis. Pass to Clowney. Shot clock at 6. Fires the 3. Brooklyn, no good that time either. And so Paul will bring it up for the Rockets. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. On the wing, Vassell. Lots of room. And the sweet roll that time on the rim. That one falls. And now a 6-point Houston lead.
That's one more assist in the career of CP3. We haven't seen many better passers in NBA history. Getting enough shots in close to play inside out.
Brooklyn shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
And comparing to the numbers of last season, they've made a bit of improvement. So that's some positive momentum they can look to build on.
Outside Paul. Pass to O'Neal. They set the pick. Now here's Collins. From the arc. Hits the three-pointer. Collins has gotten himself going with a triple. His first basket of the game. Stolen by Collins. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second. Pure from three-point range. And the Rockets lead by 9. And the elite bigs today can score posting and facing up, Clark. Can all those options make it hard to decide which way to attack?
Well, I agree with you there, and I think it's a good problem to have, quite honestly, BA. I mean, that's also, I think, where coaching and analytics comes into play, trying to keep track of what approach is going to work best for you.
Vassell outside. Fires, high post. Clowney pulls it in. Nets trail by 7. Here's Melton. Nice move. Clowney can't get it to go. And it's Houston's ball. And after this game wraps up, they're off to New York to take on the Knicks. They're kicking off a 4-game road trip.
Woo! Defensively, you can't afford to let them get to the rim that easily.
Well, that might be why their deficit is what it is right now.
You know, you look at it, the communication is lacking, as is the trust. They can ill afford those types of breakdowns. It won't work. You can't win with those kind of breakdowns.
I like the decision to push it. He gives the D no time to recover.
Pass to Castle.
2 minutes remaining.
Back to Smith. Lets the three fly. Nails it from 3. Smith got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And the third pick in 2022. Jabari Smith Jr., he struggled at times in his rookie season. But Clark, he's making some major strides now.
You know, B.A., you've heard me and others say this, but every player runs their own race. Everybody's development journey is their own, to own and to run. Sometimes it just takes a little while longer for guys to adjust at this level. But I tell you one thing about that young man, the progress he made lets you know he's got what it takes to one day be an all-star in this league.
1:33 left to play in the second quarter. Outside Eason. Here's Castle. Yet to see a basket. 5 on the clock. The baseline, Jay. Williams grabs the board. Nets trail by 10. And 1:01 left in the second quarter. Pass to Claxton. The kick out to Williams. There's the 3. Can't get it to fall. Now 3 for 5 in this one. The Rockets on offense. They're on a 16-7 run. Here's Şengün. Here's Thompson. Covered by Johnson. Thompson outside. From downtown. Brooklyn with the board. Boy, they need something to go to regain some confidence.
No question. Way too many empty possessions for them.
Some solid defense from Claxton. Now here's Williams. He's got 6. And Williams punches it home.
Playing from behind, it's amazing he chose a dunk with that high a difficulty.
Oh, my! Throw it
Can you say immediate entry into the highlight reel? Woo, what a tough PA.
It's showtime now, man. They've built up a lead, and they're starting to rub it in.
And why not? A little salt in the wound. The more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys reeling and on the ropes.
And we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast thus far. We're halfway through the game. All right, Grant, when you look at the Nets rebuild, what are you seeing at this point?
Well, they gave up a lot of young players and draft picks to assemble a big three. And, of course, that didn't quite work out. So now they're in that middle ground, which sometimes can be a little tough. Add to the fact that they're in New York, the fans and media are anything but patient and forgiving.
Second personal foul. First team foul.
Castle for three. Counted from distance. Castle's got his first 3 points of the game.
You're upgrading the three-point shot. It's big for Castle as he continues to develop.
Crosses over. Tipped. Smith outside. Pass to Castle. Inside. And Sengun throw it down.
How about the bounce ability of Sengun? Getting himself way up there.
Gives us a chance to catch up with Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian, the Rockets showing improvement. Head coach Ime Udoka said, quote, when you rely on your young guys, you're constantly trying to instill habits that'll carry them for the rest of their careers. It's mistakes and tendencies you have to try to break continually. Just staying positive. We see glimpses of how close we can be.
All right, Allie, thanks for that.
Slow reaction from the D, and it cost him 3.
Pass to Sengun. Here's Castle. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Oh, got a piece of it. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Castle.
I love it. Nice activity defensively. Getting in there to disrupt the pass.
And Jordi Fernandez calls timeout. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust. Just over a minute and a half played in the third. And Claxton throws it down.
And one move ahead of the defense. A solid pick.
And then the monster dunk to complete the play. Well done.
Boy, picture-perfect teamwork that time, guys. One guy sacrificing for the other. That's how you succeed in this league.
Well, you look at Cam Thomas, Grant. You think he has the potential to be a star in this league?
Well, you know, it's tough to say, B.A. He has a lot of talent, especially as a scorer. I think he has to keep evolving other parts of his game if he wants to become a full-fledged star. Back-to-back threes, making their defense work on the perimeter a bit.
Outside Johnson. Picked it. And here's Thompson for three. And Houston another three.
They're getting torched on the perimeter. 4 of the last 5 buckets have been threes.
It's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
A dynamic finish, then decides to hang out a little for good measure.
Yep, that's the exclamation point right there.
We've seen those kinds of plays get them going in the past.
Clock at 6. And stolen by Williams. Here we go. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
Hustle plays like that are crucial right now. You have to convert on every turnover you get.
Here's Thompson. Into the lane. Oh, and the jam by Thompson.
That's unreal. I mean, Thompson, that boy's going to hit his head on the rim one day. Oh.
It's Johnson with a drive. That one falls.
Their defense just falls apart once the ball goes inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Sengun in the post. Shot clock at 6. Here's Thompson. Claxton with the block.
In the third, 2 minutes.
Right side, Williams. From outside the arc. It's hauled in by Houston. 17 points was their biggest margin. Over to the wing. A minute 35 left to play in the third. Thompson outside. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
The fancy dribbling from Thompson. I mean, showing he's not afraid to take some risk on offense.
And Jordi Fernandez calls timeout. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. So both teams making some changes here. 1:24 left in the third quarter. And Grant, you look at the Rockets' additions over the last year or two. There's an emphasis on toughness.
Yeah, toughness, both physical and mental. Those are the kinds of veterans they've brought in. And that extends, of course, to the coaching staff, too.
Vassell outside. Back to Paul. Shoots over Melton. The kick out to Paul. Vassell outside. 6 to shoot. Three-pointer. Unable to get that one. Nets trail by 15. Pass to Portis. Shoots over Collins. And the basket good. A bank shot that time.
That's not the kind of streak you want to be part of defensively. Tighten it up, fellas.
Just 2 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. The three, O'Neal. O'Neal on the wing. Outside Paul. Another shot. That shot is good by O'Neal. And the Rockets lead by 15.
That was a prayer. All luck getting that one to go.
Here's Whitehead. Using his post moves to get the 2 points. Whitehead's got 5. And here at the end of the third, it's a double-digit ball game. It's Houston. They lead by 13. Don't go anywhere, folks.
39.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. Houston leading by 13. Paul with it. Vassell outside. Off target with the 3. Portis outside. Driving to the basket. Banked it in off the glass.
Assist from.
Taking those long strides, Portis able to get a good shot off.
Now Paul. Collins left side. Unloads from 13. Off the window. It's good.
And he couldn't get an easier shot. The defense right now just looks defeated.
Well, that's exactly the kind of defense that's gotten them into the hole.
Pass to Sharp. Out to Portis. Launches a 3. O'Neal pulls it in. And so Paul will bring it up for the Rockets. It's a 13-point game. And that one's good. Sharp. Sharp's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, when you're careless with the ball, that's what happens. It ends up going the other direction.
And we know turnovers are painful and costly. You get loose with the ball on one end and get punished on the other end.
6 on the shot clock. Sweet little floater.
And Paul with the good touch on the floater. Guys, that's a difficult shot to make, that floater, but it's one of his many go-to shots.
And that one's good. Melton.
And talk about imposing your will. That's 10 straight points in the paint.
Well, constantly finding lanes to the basket, getting great looks inside.
Adding insult to injury with the dunk off the steal.
Nice to see a good play on D. That led to some fireworks.
Well, turning defense to offense, we talk about it all the time. Try to hit your opponent at the other end before they can set up the defense.
Now in the lineup for the Nets, wearing number 21.
Paul taking his time here. Pass to Collins. It's good. The assist that time from Paul. And the Rockets lead by 11.
And trust me, when the D's slow to react, he'll be the first guy to make them pay.
Boy, the defense looks shell-shocked. I mean, they're on the ropes right now, on their heels.
They have no answer defensively inside.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
There's a whistle. That goes on DeAnthony Melton. That's his 3rd foul so far. Over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the 4th. Outside Paul. Shot clock at 5. Screen by O'Neal. Late clock. Houston's got to hurry. Connects from downtown.
This is what it's been since halftime. Remarkable results from downtown.
Boy, it's been a 3-point barrage. They came out gunning and have not stopped.
Everything right except the finish. Have to keep focus all the way through the play.
Here's Vassell. And Houston, another 3.
Well, he's just zoned in. I mean, in most cases, taking quality shots very much within the flow of the offense.
Here's Whitehead. Rockets with a rebound.
And that's a low percentage shot, and I'm sure he knows it.
Well, you can't be forcing a shot like that. You got to keep the ball moving. Get something better.
4th quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by now. On the take. Vassell with the rebound. Here's Paul. O'Neal on the wing. Fires for 3. Yes, and it's Paul with the assist that time. O'Neal's got 6 here in the quarter.
This has been their game plan here in the final period. We'll see if it continues to work out.
You know what? Teams can get a little 3-happy down the stretch sometimes. Letting it fly.
And it's Houston's ball. Big run right now for him. 11-2. On the wing, Vassell. Out of bounds. It'll be Brooklyn's ball.
You know, I think he may have forced that pass when there was really no reason to.
Time called here. The Nets decide to talk it over now. They're behind by 18.
Substitution on the court.
Thomas outside. Ooh, took him no time at all to get that one. The Rockets lead by 16. 1:27 left to play in the 4th. Thompson with it. Guarded now by Williams. Here's Kessel. Misses in close.
It looks like it'll be a big win for them here. Time to just cruise to the end of the game and chalk up the victory for the Rockets.
Well, Grant, I don't know if there was one deciding factor in this game, but I'd say shooting accuracy if I had to choose.
Agreed, B.A. They really went after quality looks and shot the ball with confidence.
And this will get marked down as their 16th win of the year.
And against a non-conference opponent, you really want to win the first one. They'll go into the next one knowing how to beat this team for sure.
And that next meeting will be their 2nd and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in the 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And when you look at the game, the one thing that helped fuel this team to victory was the efficiency for Amen Thompson.
Anytime they needed a bucket, they'd put the ball in his hands and say, go make a play. It was impressive to watch.
Pass to Claxton. And Claxton throws it down. Here's Kessel. Smith right side. Let's go with a 3. Claxton with a rebound. Here's Williams. And Williams punches it home.
Assisted by
And we've got 28 seconds left in the fourth. Thompson outside. Launches it. Rebounded by Johnson. Outside Johnson. And so Houston